And hello, everyone, and welcome to another great edition of PPR Esports. I am your host, as always, Best Teon, coming to you live from today, the Misano circuit, for some GT3 action. I'm very excited to be a part of this. PPR has launched a PC Assetto Corsa Competizione League, and I'm very flattered that they had asked me to come on and do a little commentating for them. A little different than my usual style. I'm really only an F1 guy, so I'm excited for the opportunity to maybe take a peek at other forms of motorsport and see what's out there for me. So let me take you through everything here today. It's gonna be a preseason race today, live from the Misano World Circuit Marco Simoncelli in Emilia-Romagna, Italy. Race distance is going to be a 50-minute race today, so you'll be hearing a lot of me talking to myself, maybe taking a few breaks here and there, but I'm told the action will be coming in heaps and droves. It's going to be 16 turns. That's not right. It is 16 turns, I believe. I don't have the amount to the right or left correct. I apologize. The graphic was scrubbed together at the last minute, but it's going to be a short lap around, circuit length only 3 miles. I don't believe that's correct either. But as you can see, there's a lot of great overtaking opportunities, specifically the pit straight between turns 16 and turns 1, as well as between turns 6 and turns 8. Another really brave overtaking spot would be into, looks like turn 12 or turn 13 after that, turn 11 rather, after that straight there at the hairpin at turn 10. Here's a little brief, I guess, for those of you at home who aren't familiar with how GT3 works. As you can see, on the left is a Formula 1 car, on the right is a GT3 car, specifically the Ferrari 488. Here's basically the difference between these two. Formula 1 cars, they rely on aerodynamic grip, while GT3 cars rely primarily on mechanical grip. So basically, instead of having all that downforce kind of pushing your car into the tarmac, GT3 cars only have the grip between the road and the tires. You can go ahead and see the performance figures there right below that and see how different these two cars really are. Both Ferraris, but the SF90 there on the left, 2.1 seconds 0 to 60 versus 488. It's going to be 2.9 seconds. Top speed, Formula 1 car, 230 miles an hour. They clock that at Monza, Mexico, and Spa usually. On the right, you'll see top speed 207 miles an hour or 330 kph, depending on where you're from. So still a very, 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 very fast car regardless, just maybe not quite up to the standard of modern open-wheel racing we're used to. Formula 1 cars run a 1.6-liter V6 turbo hybrid because they still utilize a battery pack, while the 488, on the other hand, only uses a V8 twin turbo, so no battery to speak of. Drivers will be having to manage their fuel. Anyway, I will take us now live to the track. I'll leave you with that image of the 488 there while I take a quick break from the comms and get this all set up for you folks. We are so excited to have you with us.
green light, green light. Go, go, go.
All right, folks, we are now live on the track. We are here. Oh, shoot, there is nothing coming out of game capture. I'm going to have to get on the top of that, folks. Just 1 second, please. That should just about do it. We are live now. A couple of cars heading out onto the track for their flying laps here at the Misano circuit. We've got a big grid for you today, looking like almost 30 cars showing out for our league here. Running through a couple of the drivers. We've got, make sure I'm in the right lobby. Of course, you will see lots of different car makers today, maybe ones you aren't used to in other forms of motorsport. We got the Audis here, we have Mercedes, McLarens, we have Ferraris, Nissans, BMWs, Lamborghinis. It really is a, quite a mixed bag of cars, but that's exciting. We even got a Bentley. So even the big guns are out today, folks. We got some Aston Martins out here. Looks like the V8 Vantage, great car. I've had the pleasure of actually seeing one up close at the Carmel Auto Show last year. These cars do run Pirelli tires, as you can see, so maybe a little familiar there in that sense. Also for pit stops, the cars have air jacks built into them to make for easy jacking, as opposed to, excuse my French, as opposed to the standard pit stop procedures in F1, which involve two jackmen. In this case, they are built into the cars. It's very sophisticated, and it is very cool to see in practice. Let me go on board here with T. Johnson in, I believe that's the McLaren 720S. Yep, that'd be great. Getting some lap time in. These cars are very different than F1 in that they do still use a sequential gearbox, but it's only 6 gears as opposed to 8 in an F1 car. You'll see a lot of drivers maybe taking, more gratuitous lines. These cars tend to kind of go apex to apex a lot differently than maybe we'd see with an open-wheeler car. But the fundamentals are all the same still. You want to take the shortest line around the track as well as have the fastest times and beat as many cars as you can. This is preseason, of course, so nothing quite up for grabs. Let's have a look here. It still says session has ended. A bird's eye view for you. There we go. And that's going to be a better view. A couple cars already finishing up there, flying laps. Let me take you through the order. You can see a lot of different cars on flyers there. On board with Wiggins now on his out lap, I believe. Or is this his flying lap? Excuse me, folks. I'm not entirely sure. You'll have to forgive me in advance. I'm new around here. But yes, that's going to be USA Wiggins in the Ferrari there. Love that gold and looks like a maroon livery. Going for a bit of a dark shade look. Bit reminiscent of a Ferrero Rocher, maybe some red wine. Oh, don't worry about me, folks. I'm not drunk at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday. Let's run through some of the other cars we got in our lineup today. That's the McLaren of T. Johnson. Nice little Richard Mille detail on the side and front there. Got a Lexus Carbossi. I believe that is the RCF GT3. I've just never had the opportunity to see a RCF in real life. They are very cool looking cars. Another Ferrari there, rocking a bit of a Incredible Hulk livery. That is K. Portis II. So got Shazam coming around the corner in a Porsche 911, another Porsche 911. And there's Orpus in a Ferrari. We've got quite the parade of cars for you today, folks. Let's take you through some of these cars, maybe. Some cars just leaving the pits right now. No idea really who's on a flyer. We'll go on board with Sierra here. There we go. Can hear that engine firing all the way up. Can hear those turbos spooling like angry moths. That is Sierra there in the Nissan GTR with a bright yellow livery, Total brand, I think, Nismo. Not quite sure. I love the look, though. It's very Braun GP for those of you out there who remember those days. I know that Jensen Button's actually launched his own team in some racing series with a similar colored car. You know, they say nostalgia's a powerful drug. Who can blame him? Sierra now done 2 laps. Let's see as he comes around the hairpin there at turn 10, I believe. It's going to be pretty much, let's see, there's one left-hander, one more left-hander. Ah, yes, and this is the pit straight, excuse me. Let's see where this will put him. Sierra is going to set a 135.1, 135.1. There you have it, folks. That is good enough for second row. Let's have a look at the live timing here. Sosa setting the fastest time of the session so far, 134.1. That's the time we're going to be chasing here today at Misano. Behind him, we've got USA Wiggins, also in a Ferrari 488, sitting at 134.3, so about a 2/10 of a second deficit there. Behind them is Sierra, Beret, Shade, Mirsky, Schneider, Portis, Shade, and Alf Hall. All in various constructors. We got a Nissan in the mix as well as a Mercedes. We've got an Audi. Lots of really fun and fast cars out on track. Qualifying 4 minutes to go here. Some drivers will be starting to think about maybe setting a flyer. We've got cars up and down the grid here who have yet to set any times. But hopefully we see some more times out there. Sosa only 2/10 slower than Wiggins in sector 3 there. Let's see down the rest of the field. It's about, wow, very close there between P4 and about P9. Only a couple of tenths separating those cars. Chasing a 134. Most drivers setting looks like to be about 4-3 laps. I don't believe these tires deg as fast as the, or wear. It's wear, I believe. Wear as fast as the Pirelli spec ones for the F1 cars, so they're not moving as fast, maybe not as much load on the tires, so you can set a couple of laps. Wolf out there getting his first lap in. Let's go see who else we can ride on board with. Sorry, folks. There's your timing sheet. Johnson doesn't appear to be on a flyer. Sierra just trying to stay out of the way. Forsyth, Porsche 911 GT3. Listen to that. German engineering firing up. That car sounds fantastic. Into the hairpin. You know, it's so weird watching these cars drive. I'm so used to hearing the flamed up 6 cylinders of the F1s. It's kind of refreshing to hear that kind of gravelly hard engine sound that these GT3 cars have. Something that's kind of maybe missing from the pinnacle of motorsport. I know a lot of you at home will be screaming at your TVs, bring back the V8s, but you know, I'm right there with you. These cars sound great. They look great. You can see Logan, C. Forsyth, running the final corner there. Time to beat was a 134. He's going to do it in 138.3, so that's only going to be good enough for P15. Let's have a look. Sierra now, I believe, on a flying lap. Trying to get one more in before the end of the session here. 1 second to gain on Wiggins and Sosa. Let's see if he can't find it here in the closing stages of this qualifying. Track has a good mix of turns and twists. Not really sure which cars should be in it to win it. We'll have to see after today. Another thing about these GT3 cars, they don't necessarily follow a formula the same way Formula 1 cars do. They are kind of homologated in the sense that you just kind of have to keep the car within certain parameters. In competitive sailing, it's kind of known as the box rule, where it just has to be within the box. How you rig things and how you design certain aspects of the boat are kind of up to you. And I think the same thing goes for GT3. You can achieve different types of setups. A lot of people will go for maybe a lighter power to weight ratio. Or Mercedes, like for example, Mercedes go very heavy power, very heavy chassis. So, you know, it's really an interesting mix. Let's see, around the final corner, Sierra here is going to pull off to the side. He will not set another flying lap, it would seem. That is going to be qualifying over. Folks, your starting order so far, Sosa, followed by Wiggins, Sierra, Mirsky, Beret, Shade, Love, Schneider, Carbasi, and those are your top 10. Bringing out the rest of the field, here is Jay Warren in that BMW setting, I believe a 136. I'll put in P11. Behind him is Patel, Alpha Howe, Ginks, Johnson, Riders, Forsyth, third, Blumauer, and Orpis. Bringing up the rear, Wolf, Kvistagard, Shazam, and unfortunately Matthews was not able to set a time during the session. I'll go ahead and snap a pic for everyone at home. Remember, this is my first time doing the GT3, so very exciting stuff. We now wait the minute 30 here before we go live to the race. A couple of announcements for all you folks at home, though. We're very excited to announce here at PPR that there is our new website, ppresports.com. You can check out the link. It's down below in the bio. There's also a link to our Discord there if you're interested in joining us. Besides Assetto Corsa, we also offer an iRacing team, and we are also very deep in Formula 1 2019. So for those of you at home who like to race at the pinnacle of motorsport, do check us out. We have 3 divisions running full-time grids in Xbox. We have 2 full-time divisions on PC as well. Sessions start in 1 minute. And we got a wet race, folks. Very exciting. A wet race to start us off here today. That's always a fun time. Oh, and that's going to be the game chat popping off there on the corner. I'll have to get us out of that one. There we go. And back to broadcast view. I believe there is a formation lap in this style of racing as well, so we'll see them get their tires warmed up, and if not, then we'll just see them go from a standing start here in the rain at Misano. Those Italian fans are going nuts, though. You can see the Tifosi back there waving his red flag for everyone to see. 20 seconds to go. Cars nice and bunched up. I think they do a rolling start. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. This is the helicopter view as we hold station here over the start-finish straight. Of course, these drivers will be on very heavy fuel loads compared to their qualifying runs. And that's 1 car away, 2 cars away. It looks like we will indeed see a formation lap for, I think it's a rolling start, same as it is at Le Mans. Difference being there aren't multiple groups on the track right now. Man, the game really pops in the rain, doesn't it? The graphics are phenomenal on this platform. There's Beret there in his Mercedes AMG, looking very slick and very chonky with that big car frame, excuse me. Certainly looks much bigger than the Ferrari in front of it. I know for those of you at home wondering if that's kind of a running joke, head over to WEC on Reddit and you can see all about the big chonky BMW boys who swallow cars whole. Running down the rest of our laps here, there's Sierra, of course, in the GTR, Mirsky in the Ferrari there. A lot of interesting, exciting liveries. That pink Aston Martin there, maybe a big Racing Point fan. Schneider, Kabasi there, looking great in the Lexus. Lots of very pretty cars. There's one of the Bentleys there I can see. More Astons. Lots of Audi R8s. You know, it's cool to see kind of a different mix. Some mid-engine cars, some rear-engine cars with the Porsches. You got some front-engine cars, you know, in the Astons. Really, really cool stuff. I do love the variety of this already. Race, of course, hasn't started quite yet. Back of our grid here. Lots more interesting liveries. Oh, man, this is so cool. It's kind of like a little Forza Horizon party. Johnson, though, still in the pit lane. Not sure what is going on there. Maybe they have to fit some wet tires for the start of this race. I'm not entirely sure, folks. Let's go back to the front of the grid here. Sosa, your pole sitter, front row with him is going to be the other Ferrari of USA Wiggins. Behind them, Beret, Sierra, row 2, Mirsky, Shade, row 3, Shade and Love, row 4, Schneider, Karbasi, row 5. Point scoring in this league, top 20 cars are technically in the points, so there are 4 runners at the back there who will be looking to make some early gains. That would be Wolf, Kvistagard, Shazam, and J. Bruce Lee. There you go. We got a karate master in here with us. So here we go, folks. Round the final corner here. Let's see our drivers get underway now in these treacherous conditions here at Misano. I have no idea when this thing starts. If somebody could let me know in the chat, I'd be...
Green light.
Oh, there we go. Green light. Thank you, ACC. And we're underway, folks, live in Misano. Sosa getting a good getaway. They're kind of all concertinaing up. Beret kind of right into the back of him there. That's the GTR of Sierra trying to go up the inside of the Mercedes there. He's going to try and come around him here again. Beret fighting for position with Sierra there. Sosa getting a great getaway here. And that's going to be Shade making his way into the mix behind them. Not too much mixing up going on as of yet. These are wet conditions. Ooh, a little bit of contact there between the Audi, and that's the Audi spinning off the track there of Schneider. Very unfortunate. I am not entirely sure what happened during that incident. There's Mirsky trying to go up the inside there of Beret. Beret falling down the order here. That wet Mercedes not doing well in these wet conditions. Both drivers missing their braking points and running very wide there at the left-hander. Beret coming back at Sierra, getting a really wide run through and picking up all that extra momentum. Ooh, the GTR has gone wide again. Beret coming back now. He will reclaim that position. Let's run through the rest of our cars here and see what we got going on. That's Love now, I believe, making their way wheel to wheel there with Mirsky. Let's go on board now, see what we got here. Those wipers going back and forth. Lots of cars going to be running wide today. Trying to find the grip right now. The racing line really hasn't been worn into the track that well. Love going to have a look up there. Sierra's going to cover the inside. Maybe Love can get the cutback. Nope, nothing really going quite there yet into the hairpin. Let's see if there's something coming up at the next turn, running through the rest of our grid. Wolf getting a great getaway up to P9 after starting at the back of this pack. He has really made his way through, unbeknownst to me. Good for him. Schneider, good to see them back underway, getting their race righted. After your first lap here, folks, your leader, Sosa, being chased down by Wiggins. Behind them is a 4-second gap to Beret in the Mercedes, followed by Shade in the Bentley. Sierra in the GTR behind them. Love, Mirsky, Wolf, and Schneider and Patel. Looking down the rest of the field, there is Forsyth, Trimble, Riders, Portis, Carbassi, Shazam, Shade, Ginks, Blumauer, Bruce Lee, Alphahau, Kavistegard, Orpus, and it looks to be Jay Warren bringing up the rear. Not sure what happened there, folks. We'll have to get a word from him after the race. Settling in now. Field spread kind of taking a bit of a toll. You'll have to excuse the jerky camera. I myself, I'm getting used to this right now. On board with Trimble right now in that Audi R8. As you can see, you can just tell he is struggling to find that braking point, parking himself damn near on the apex, and that Lamborghini of Riders almost running right into the back of him. Or is that a Porsche? And that's gonna be a lot of oversteer there. Trimble will lose a lot of momentum. Forsyth will say thank you very much. He's going to have a look here now. Let's see. In the slipstream, Trimble, Forsyth, the Audi versus the Porsche. Who's going to come off worse? That's the Audi sliding all over the track. That's the... and he's off, and he is in deep trouble there, folks. Forsyth coming off much better there. You can see that a lot of these drivers just still trying to find that grip. On board with Schneider now in the Audi. Mirsky just up ahead, trying to get the move done on Wolf. Let's have a look. Cars that are going to have, kind of a, let me think here. You probably want a longer wheelbase in wet conditions to give you more understeer as opposed to oversteer and a lot more control of your car. Certainly any cars with maybe a better weight distribution as well. I know a lot of these cars do well to balance it, but I would suspect that the front-engined guys might be doing... I'm trying to think how that works. Would they be doing better? I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments below, folks, if I'm wrong or I'm right. I never took physics. Ironic, right? More of a communications guy myself. Anyway, into lap 2 of this race. Got a lot of close battles happening here. Let's go on board with Wiggins, who appears to be chasing down our leader. Sosa, who had a very clean getaway, now kind of finds himself just slipstreaming. Wiggins close behind. Very, very treacherous conditions on the track indeed here, folks. Wiggins just trying to find the grip and maybe hopes Sosa makes a mistake. Being tucked in the slipstream here will not do you much good, especially in the wet. You'll find yourself braking a lot earlier and lifting off a lot earlier, unfortunately. Momentum can be your best friend or your worst enemy today, and it really all comes down to feel. Sosa there pulling to the left. Wiggins getting back in the slipstream. Braking nice and early. You can see it right there. Maybe earlier than Sosa might have had to, since he's got a lot more wind resistance on that other Ferrari. Through turn 2 and 3 here. Both cars looking very planted. You can see him kind of correct there for any oversteer. The water is going to be a problem. Sosa braking really early. Wiggins just trying to find a way past. Not sure what's going on, what the plan here is for either of these drivers. A little snap of oversteer there, nothing serious. Head down the rest of our field. Now that's Beret behind Wiggins. But a close battle happening down the midfield here. Let's wind our way back. That looks to be Shazam in the Gran Turismo liveried car. Interesting choice. Competing race simulator showing up to ACC. He is trying to chase down Orpus here in that Ferrari 488. Ginks hot on his tail as well. Ginks in the Audi. Shazam's going to run really wide. He's kind of missed his brakes altogether. Ginks will say sayonara, my friend, and move up into P15. Looks like everyone else down the field's back underway, and those gaps are kind of starting to pull out. Oh, and that's going to be, and that is contact. That is contact. We've got cars off the track. No surprise, it looks like Shazam went into the back of Ginks. Not so friendly contact, and that is Ginks there, just stopped on track. That will likely bring out some yellow flags. Probably not a safety car at this stage, though. Looking down the rest of the field, Bruce Lee close on the rear of Patel here. Can see their multifunction display in front of the wheel there, showing them all their different telemetry readouts. You can see his gear, his torque. On the right, you can see tire pressure and tire temps, as well as a rear view mirror, which is pretty handy. Unfortunately, I think due to my my spectator status, I'm not able to be privileged to the information on their dash. You see our driver there taking his hand off the wheel, trying to shake up those knuckles just a little bit. Patel, though, up here, hot on the tail of Shazam. Ooh, that Aston looking very fast in a straight line. Let's see, he's going to try to take it around the outside of Shazam. Shazam's going to have to go defensive here. Can Patel get the cutback? Let's see. Yes, he has. Shazam getting that one all wrong. He's going to have a retake on that test. Patel through to P14. Beautiful move there into the hairpin. Orpus now hot on the back of Shade here. Ooh, let's see, running a little wide on that line, though. Let's see where they decide to brake. Ooh, Shade braking at the early apex. Orpus carrying just about the same amount of speed through there on the power now. Careful not to spin the wheels up too much here. You could find yourself doing a dance in the rain. Rain dance, if you will. But you definitely don't want that. Ooh, Shade going very slow there, pulling to the left. Orpus up the inside, and he will go through. Lots of great overtaking here today, folks. Wow, I was not expecting this at all, especially in these treacherous conditions. There's Shade there on the back of Wolf. Sosa has been passed by Wiggins for the lead, by the way, for those of you keeping track at home. Love, the back of this little threesome here. Beret, Sierra, then Love. Let's see, Sierra getting all out of shape there. Nissan pulling to the left. Maybe catching a bit of oversteer. Side by side, we've got an Aston and a GTR in a drag race. That Mercedes leading him. Sierra's going to have the inside line. Love really not having a look there. Maybe kind of try for the cutback, but nothing really going. Now Love switches to the left side. Sierra on the right. Sierra's going to pull right back out in front. Let's see if Love maybe going to take a move after the hairpin here, try to set something up, take a better line, maybe have a better exit. Sierra, though, getting a great getaway there. That GTR looking very pacey in these treacherously wet and damp conditions at Misano. Good for Berea keeping that car nice and stuck, though. Great little threesome here at the front of the pack. Looking down the rest of the field, there seems to be a Schneider and Mirsky. They are duking it out over P8 and 9. Orpus is now giving me an interval readout for some reason. But we are 6 laps into this race, folks. Wiggins leading us. Sosa close behind in the other Ferrari 22 car. Beret, Sierra, Love, Wolf, Shade, Schneider, Mirsky, Forsyth. Behind them, Portis, Orpus, Shade, Patel, Bruce Lee, Shazam, Riders, Carbasi, Trimble, Blumauer, and your non-points paying positions, Kvistegard, Ginks, unfortunately got in a little tangle earlier, Johnson, and third. Lots of movement around the field today, folks. Back on board now with Sierra. Might be trying to get past Beret here. Ooh, Beret's going to run a little wide there. I think Sierra's going to have a much better run through that downhill braking zone. Beret's going to hold the inside line here. Sierra, knowing he probably can't stick it around the outside in the wet. Let's see, he'll try to take it up the inside, though, instead. And that's Sierra into P3. Beautiful move there from the Nissan drivers. Barredo's going to come back at him. Let's see, Barret is going to try to go for the inside line. There's nothing really happening. Laid on the brakes. Oh, what a fantastic shot. That's the Nissan running wide there, just staying in front. Great battle here, folks. That Mercedes is just plummeting down the order. Barret getting in on the action. Sorry, not Barret. That is Love now getting in on the action as they head into the hairpin there. Side by side now into the left-hander, looking for the switchback. Nothing really going. Mercedes going to try to defend that line. Side by side again into the start-finish straight. Sierra coming off much better up into a podium. Barret, though, falling down the order. That Mercedes looks like to have overcooked itself nice and early in this race. Love promoted to P4. Let us know in the chat as well if we're going to be seeing any pit stops, or when do you think these guys will have to pit? Ooh, that's Love. He's all out of shape. Love is all out of shape there on the exit. Now on with Barret. Let's see. We got Shade now closing up on Wolf. You can see how squirrely that Bentley Continental's trying to get. Big V8 in that car, though. Wolf's just going to pull to the side there, tuck in behind, maybe knowing it's not his race. Still on board now with Shade. Got a little threesome back there. We'll ride along board with them. This is going to be Portis leading Forsyth, leading Schneider there. That's going to be a Ferrari leading a Porsche, leading an Audi. Let's see there. Portis running a little wide. Back of this train. Forsyth trying to close up to Portis. One of the keys to these wet races really is just attrition, though. You know, not ending up stuck in the gravel or on the grass. 35 minutes still to go. You don't really want to lose time, but other people's mistakes will be your benefit, obviously. Especially, though, in the wet, it is hard to make up time. So once you're off, it can usually end your race nice and early. Ooh, Forsyth really opening up the taps there on the Porsche. Portis, though, taking kind of a middle-of-the-road line there through the right-left complex into the next right-hander. Let's see who's going to have the grip. Ooh, a little late on the brakes, maybe. Just a touch. Still making the apex, though. That looks to be Schneider. Oh, Schneider! Schneider has sent himself to the Shadow Realm, folks. I don't know if you saw that in the rearview mirror, but that pink Audi seems he had plans to be somewhere else instead of at Misano. He is gonzo. Wow, he just vanished from view. Schneider in the 69 numbered Audi R8 there. We got a close battle. Excuse me, folks. I haven't had my morning coffee. Looking down the rest of the field, got Kvistgaard trying to close up on Blumauer there. Jay Warren bringing up the rear. Still don't know what happened to his car. I guess you could say the rain executed Order 66. That might land with some people. For those of you who don't worry. It's a little inside joke for us Star Wars fans. Forsyth Portis going closely here. Running very close in the wet. Let's see, there's a good overtaking opportunity here at the end of the pit straight. Portis moving over to the left. That Porsche really having some trouble getting the traction down in the rain. Not really able to get the power going. Portis able to just stay in front. That Ferrari power really coming in handy here today in the wet. Sosa, though, closing back up on our leader. Let's see. Nice little dogfight for the lead. Both Ferrari drivers driving a superb race today here. This is preseason, of course. This is not for keeps, but we do like to see that there are drivers on the grid pushing it. Sierra, though, he's just in the rearview mirrors. Don't count him out of this yet. You never know if either of these cars make a mistake late in the race. Into the right-hander. Sosa going to take a shallower line through there. Look, everyone, you can see them really struggling to find that grip. Ooh, and he's gonna come up right behind him there. Wiggins parking it right on the apex. Maybe inviting in Sosa there. See if he'll have a look. But it is not to be the case. Down the pit straight one more time. Wiggins getting a very poor exit there. Sosa, let's see. He's going to pull to the left. Wiggins going to stay to the right now. We got a drag race now. Ferrari v. Ferrari into the right-hander. Who's going to come off better? Ooh, they're side by side still. Sosa is going to have the inside line for the next turn. Wiggins will have to concede there. Maybe not, though. Sosa still just trying to reclaim the lead. It is not to be. He will have to have one more go there at his Ferrari compatriot. Side by side again into the right-hander. Sosa taking all four wheels off the track, losing a lot of power. That's a Mercedes stuck there. Wow, right on his gearbox. Scintillating stuff at the front of the field there, folks. Ooh, a little bit of contact between both drivers. Wiggins staying just in front, though. All that spray being kicked up onto the windshield of Sosa. Let's see, though. It's going to be a drag race into the left-hander. Who's going to come out on top? Ooh, Wiggins going to cut across there. And he spun! That's our race leader spun. Sosa, a good sportsman, though, realizing the error of his ways, will let Wiggins get back underway there and resume racing. Sierra, though, now very much in on the mix for the lead. He has got to be grinning through his visor right now, seeing all that commotion happening in front of him. That gap has been severely reduced there. Only a couple of seconds now. Sosa undoing maybe all of his good work he had going for him earlier in the race. Rain showing no signs of slowing down here today, folks. Cascading down, if you will. If someone in the chat can let me know if these guys run intermediates versus wets or if it's just kind of a wet versus dry tire, I would love to know. Sierra now has closed that gap down to less than a second on Sosa. On board with him now in that Nissan, which has been very pacey today here at Misano. Misano, those of you who at home who are MotoGP fans will probably be very familiar with this track. I didn't know it was one of the marquee places on the calendar until I had to Google images for the broadcast, and everything that showed up was Valentino Rossi. I guess this is kind of his house in a sense, isn't it? It's really cool, though, getting into these GT3 cars. It's a very different style of racing. It's very much more elbows out, as these are not open-wheel racers, so there's not as much loose, wiggly aerodynamic bits that can be chopped off or broken. You will see, I think, a lot more people kind of poking their bonnets in where they don't belong. Hoods, if you're American. So, exciting, though. So exciting. I'm very, very happy to be here today. And I'm very happy you all at home are with me as well on this cold, rainy day for me here in the Bay Area or wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining us on behalf of PPR Esports. Sierra, though, now, it's close up at the front. Back to the action, folks. Sosa, Wiggins running side by side. Let's see here. On board now with Wiggins. Sosa running very wide off the track into the grass. Wiggins, Sosa side by side. Sierra, though, is going to have a poke up the inside. What did I say? Oh, that's Sosa. He's been spun around. Sierra, I don't know if he's going to stop maybe. Maybe he won't have the amount of sportsmanship, but he will just press on through. That is Wiggins being released into the lead. Sosa coming off far worse than everyone there. Shade making a surprise appearance in the Bentley. Well done to him to get through there. you're just joining us, folks, I'm your host, Best Teon. We are live at the Misano circuit for a GT3 preseason race. 27 minutes left in the session here. Total session was 50 minutes, so we're about the halfway point. Your leader, Wiggins, got into a great dogfight with Sosa earlier. Sosa's unfortunately fallen back due to a run-in with Sierra in the GTR. So maybe the stewards will have to have a look at that one later. Love, though, closing up now. Can't really get an on board of him, can I? Here's Mursky trying to chase down Love. Love running really wide there. Opting to kind of take a choose-your-own-adventure line, I think, through the runoff. Interesting choice there. Forsyth closing up on Portis. Excuse me. We got Wolf still trying to chase down Sosa. Wolf having really a great race today. Not sure what lap, 13 laps, sorry folks, we're on lap 13 of this race here at Misano in the wet. Wolf just trying to chase down the leaders here. All this gloomy weather, both inside and outside of my house, has me thinking I might curl up in a blanket after this and just throw in a good movie. How are you folks enjoying your quarantine? Let us know in the comments. I'm probably going to go watch a lot of Drive to Survive after this, or maybe throw on Ford vs. Ferrari. I don't know what your plans are, but those both sound pretty good to me. Let's go on board with Forsyth now, who is hot on the tail of Portis here. As I say that, Portis running very wide there. Forsyth maybe having some trouble rotating that portion there, having to take a lot of lock through that turn. Let's see, late on the brakes. The Ferrari's just getting a better exit and getaway, though, than the Porsche. It's Sosa into the pits right there. I believe that is the first stop of the top runners of the day. Portis having a very poor run through there. Forsyth going to try to come back at him now. Got more cars into the pits. Patel, Shade. We have Warren back into the pits there. Maybe looking for a bit of an overcut, Shade? We'll have to see. Long race to go here. Still 23 minutes left. Sierra very, very much in a dogfight now between Ginks and Wolf here. Oh, I'm sorry, I do believe Ginks is a lapped car there. Excuse me, folks. But Sierra and Wolf very much racing for position. Lots of cars pitting. Shade into the pits now. We have Shazam into the pits. Both Shades. The Shade Brothers. There you go. It's a shady pit stop right now. Ooh, a little bit of just a touch of oversteer there, kind of hurting Wolf's getaway. And Sierra is just disappearing into the horizon in that GTR. That gap was down to less than a second now. Oh, but he's run wide. Sierra, he's got it all wrong. He's in the runoff. What has he done? He wasn't even under pressure. Wow. You make of that what you will, folks. But was that Sierra who was into the runoff? Yeah, it was. Sorry, folks. The timing isn't live. Wolf there, though, is now into P2, and it looks like he will want to chase down Wiggins, who is 6 seconds ahead of him. Sierra really getting it all wrong. Maybe should have opted to pit sooner. Those tires could be very dead, Bono. Patel running wide there. Man, a lot of people getting the left-hander wrong today. I can certainly understand why. You have the grip there one day, then you practice in the dry, show up and it's in the wet, all of a sudden taking the corner completely differently. Ooh, car number 23 will be being served a time penalty there. That's Shazam getting a drive-through penalty. That's what the DT stands for. Good to know. Drive-through penalty for Shazam there. Very unfortunate. Sierra into the pits. Mursky into the pits, Forsyth into the pits, Blumauer into the pits, Riders, Trimble, Johnson, and D3rd into the pits, folks. That would pretty much, I would say, it puts this at about a one-stop, considering we are halfway through the allotted time session for this race. So I don't expect to see much more pit stop action today. Your top 10 runners there have already each pitted once. We'll run you through the order one more time. Well, it looks like one of the Ferraris has disappeared there. There's Sosa. There's Matthews off the track there. Not sure what happened. There we go. Wiggins in the lead, being chased down by Wolf. Behind them, E. Love, K. Portis, Orpus, Bruce Lee, Sierra, Mursky, Forsyth, Sosa. Sosa, of course, was your pole sitter. Behind them, Carbassi, Shade, Schneider, Ginks, Patel, Shade, Blumauer, Alpha Howe, Riders, and Trimble. Your non-points paying positions will be Shazam, Kvistegard, Johnson, and third. And we got two more drive-through penalties being served there. One for Shazam and one for Riders there. Very, very unfortunate. Wiggins now coming up to the lapped Lamborghini of Riders. Most of our intervals there getting pretty lengthy. Wolf into the pits now. They'll promote Love into P2. And that will be another drive-through penalty cleared there. Ryder still has to serve his. Well, folks, it's USA Wiggins, definitely. Ooh, stop go. 30 seconds for car number 131. That is tough. That'd be for Forsyth, getting the stop go. You can see just the precision Wiggins is utilizing here in the wet. Tentative on the steering, just inching his way out towards where the grip might be. Very fearless driving, I must say. It always puts a smile on my face to see that level of skill out of our esports drivers here at PPR. Back down the pit straight. It looks like Wiggins has pulled out a big enough lead to lead by a lap there, which is fantastic. We have Alpal Hall, if I can get to their onboard. There we go. And a bit of a dogfight here with Blumauer. Let's go on board now, see what we've got. Alpal just trying to get alongside. He'll have to tuck in behind instead, though. Looking to the right-hand side of the Porsche. Nothing really going there. Ooh, he's still going to just have to back out of that one more time. Let's see. Into the sweeping right-hander. Late on the brakes for both drivers. Blumauer's into the shadow realm, it looked. But he's, in fact, still on the track. Miguel closing up here down the pit straight. Let's see if he's got something cooking in that Aston Martin. Ooh, a lot of oversteer, but he's gotten a good exit anyway. Let's see. Blumauer sticking to the left. Let's see, up the inside. Not choosing to go defensive at all for the Porsche. Early on the brakes for both cars. Neither really wanting to get out of shape. Miguel's going to have to ride the curb there. Up the inside, though, Blumauer is going to leave the door wide open. And Miguel's right through. Matthews in front of him. He'll negotiate that traffic probably. No problem at all. These drivers are not jockeying for position. Excuse me, folks. I really need to get that coffee. Oh, there's a little contact between people. Not even driving each other. Shazam and Shade there. Love's going to have to make up about 10 seconds in the wet if he would like to catch the race leader behind him. Sosa, though. Excuse me. Where's Sosa? Find him. There he is. One lap down. So, folks, some news in the world of motorsport while we come to the closing stages of this race. There's a lot of rumors this week about reverse layout races as well as multi-day races for Formula One. Karun Shandok quoted talking about how they might have to run back-to-back races on weekends or shorten weekends to just 2 days to try and get that truncated schedule in. Best bets now looking like the season will start from Silverstone, in fact, in probably July. Based on my estimations, I would say closer to August, maybe due to getting people back to work, economic conditions, kind of having a chance to catch back up. But I think that being in the UK, I understand most people there are still getting their wages despite the fact that they are out of work, which is great. And that's even better because that means people might have a little bit of extra cash lying around to go out to a race and help, jumpstart the sport back where it belongs. A lot of other sports throwing out different ideas. I know here in the United States, Major League Baseball has thrown out the idea of running the entire seasons out of Florida and Arizona where spring training is and electing a World Series contender by running the seasons there because everyone's in one place. It makes logistics really easy. And instead of extra innings, actually having a home run derby, which sounds very interesting to me. I'd like to see that, I think. NBA's thinking of all kinds of things too, having tournament style, season. NHL, I'm sure, would do the same thing. Honestly, though, most of these teams will just want to lighten the load with logistics and try to find a way to make it all happen in one place, which is, with F1 and maybe many other forms of motorsport, the UK is a good spot for that. A lot of teams are based there. The labor laws make it so that it's easy for them to conduct business there. So yeah, we'll just have to see. Patel now looks to be our closest battle. A couple more cars into the pits. That's Love into the pits. Patel in the Aston Martin there, letting Ginks just slide on through. In that slipstream now, Ginks pulling to the right-hand side here, not wanting Patel to kind of shoot his way through the other right-hander now. Let's see. Patel going to take a bit of a different line through there. We'll have a look at the inside here. Just a peek. Nothing really going, taking almost all four wheels onto that curb. Right on the gearbox of Ginks now. Let's see. Left-hander. Ginks running very wide there. Pit straight up ahead. What kind of a line they're going to take? Patel's got a great one. Ginks having to pull all the way to the left, trying to break that slipstream. Patel maybe having to look at the inside. No, he's a little too far back. Ah! Just kidding. Round the outside. Trailer Park girls go round the outside. Round the outside. Nice move from Patel there. They'll promote him into P10, I believe. Wonderful move by the Aston Martin driver there. Bruce Lee exiting the pits now. Our leader, after 21 laps, finally into the pits. Good for him. I'm sure he's enjoying himself, having a nice Sunday drive. Ginks and Patel here, though. Definitely the best battle on track that I can see. Let's have a look. Here's the live timing. All right, folks. So we got Wiggins now closing back up on Wolf. Wolf? Who knows? Into the right-hander. The hairpin. A very awkward hairpin, one might say. Wolf just stayed to the left there. Wiggins right in his slipstream into the right-hander. Let's see, can both cars keep it on track? Yes, they can. Not taking any adventurous lines through there. Into the right-hander. Ooh, Wiggins struggling for grip. Not really getting that car to rotate where he needed it. Loads of understeer. Costing him vital time now. That gap was 2/10. Now it looks like it's probably out to about 8 or 9/10, maybe even a whole second into the pit straight now. Let's see. Can it make up a little bit of time here? Ooh, nasty snap of oversteer. There you have it, folks. Gap's up to 9/10 now. Of course, these drivers are wanting to manage their fuel well. In the wet, I would estimate you're probably burning it a lot faster. I feel like there's a lot more stop and go traffic for some reason. I could be wrong. I'm spitballing. But that is different than, you know, F1. You can kind of make it back running in lean in the video game. But in these cars, you do have a finite amount of gas, I believe. And I think you refuel at pit stops. I'm very unclear. Doesn't matter. A little bit of traffic up ahead, though. Trimble there pulling to the left, trying to stay out of the way. Into the hairpin. Let's see. Everyone's all kind of Constantinoing up there. Oh, Wiggins going to get through. I think Wiggins has got through. Great move there. Getting a really good exit. Let's see now. Ah, yes, into the right-hander. Wiggins back in front. Sierra there now back in view, though. It would seem he would like to have a say in how this fight all ends here. 8 minutes to go at Misano. Into the pit straight. Wiggins finally getting around Trimble. Wolf just hoping Trimble can hold him up just a touch longer. Maybe a little Japanese Japanese-German alliance there to keep the Italian from getting through. The Italian car, rather. Ooh, a bit of contact there between Wiggins and the other driver. Ferrari getting the elbows out, wanting to try and pull out some kind of a gap here. Seven minutes to go. In this 50-minute race. You can see on the MFD of Wolf there, his fastest lap of the day, the 146, which, wow, that was a car running really wide onto the side there. You can see, though, the time differential between wet and dry conditions. It's a factor of about damn near 12 seconds difference between the wet and the dry. Back down the pit straight. It's Wiggins close behind. Very close there. Wiggins really trying to get by. He knows that he's only got maybe 2 or 3 more laps. Good save, the oversteer there. Wow. Good reaction time. Get that car back on the straight and narrow. Five minutes to go, folks, here at Misano. Running through the race order one more time. It is Sosa leading Wiggins, leading Wolf, leading Sierra and Shade. Behind them, Mirsky, Portis, Orpis, Patel, Bruce Lee. Out of the top 10, we now have Carbasi, Shade, Miguel, excuse me, I can't pronounce that last name, Blumauer, Johnson, Kvistegard, Shazam, Ginks, Trimble, Riders, and your non-points paying drivers, T. Matthews. Let's see if we can get to the back of the pack here. No, I guess not. It seems we've had just a few retirements then. Wiggins and Wolf still in this dogfight here. I think this one's going to go down to the wire, folks. Sierra only 8/10 back. Good on us, though. We've got most of the field finishing despite the treacherous conditions. I guess one of the benefits of the closed wheel racing is that you do, I think you do tend to feel a little bit better in the wet. You don't quite feel like you're skittish and out of control like you would be in a Formula One car. I know that's how I usually feel whenever I have to race in the wet. Ooh, bit of contact there. Wolf and Wiggins coming together. Wolf, very ambitious move, but Sierra now back up. The outside there of Wolf. Wolf falling down the order. Sierra pouncing with only a couple of minutes left in the race. Fantastic stuff here in the closing stages of this GT3 exhibition. at Misano. Wiggins pulling to the left. Sierra's still going to try to take it around the outside. A very audacious move. Doesn't opt to switch back to the inside. In fact, will follow Wiggins through the right-left complex here. Taking a lot of curb there, a lot of oversteer, no problem. Wiggins covering him off one more time. Ooh, he's right on his gearbox now. Let's see, can he get the cutback into the hairpin? Up the inside maybe, late on the brakes. Ooh, Wiggins really trying to cover him off. Oh, they made contact. Those drivers have touched. Wiggins and Sierra in a huge dogfight here. We'll go now to the helicopter cam so we can get a much better view of this. Wiggins staying just in front. Sierra running a little wide there now, tucking back into the slipstream. Down the long left-hander now. We got ourselves a little 3-car train. Wolf thanking his lucky stars they've made so much contact. He is still in this race. Sierra there slowing well to the apex, but the other GTR catching up really well. Wolf got his eyes on the prize there, trying to make that very, very precious podium, folks. 1 minute, 58 seconds left in the session. Really exciting stuff in the closing stages of this race. This is definitely the battle we want to watch, folks. Wiggins leading Sierra, leading Wolf. 1 minute, 45 to go in the session. There you have it, folks. Race engineer just gave us the heads up. With Sosa on the final lap, that means Wiggins and Sierra are going to have to push. Wiggins, though, getting a huge snap of oversteer. A very bad exit. Sierra coming right back through. Oh, my God. What sensational stuff here in the closing stages of this Misano GT3 exhibition. Wiggins trying to come back at him, staying tucked right behind Wolf, just hoping these guys take each other to the shadow realm, and he can just go to an easy P2. Underway now. Sierra leading Wiggins, leading Wolf. Sierra getting a bit of a bad run through there. Wiggins back, will reclaim that position. Sierra tucked in back behind. Tough stuff there for the GTR driver. Let's see now. Pulling a little bit to the left. How late on the brakes will he go? Just a little late, not enough, but he's made up some time there on Wiggins. Wiggins driving very tentatively, just trying to get that Ferrari home in one piece without any hassle now. Back to the helicopter cam. Nissan pulling to the right. Ferrari covering him off into the next right-hander. Same as before through the hairpin. Let's see. It's a short run now back to the start-finish straight. Wiggins leading Sierra, leading Wolf there. Sosa should have crossed the line by now. This race is over. Oh, Sierra's going to have a look maybe. Wiggins is trying to go. Oh, maybe right here. This is the move. Not quite. Not wanting to punch the golden Ferrari off. He's pulled out of that one. Leaders finished here. There we go, folks. Into the final turn. Let's see Sierra on Wiggins. Wolf right behind. Wiggins into the final left-hander. Sierra maybe making a late dive bomb. It's going to be a drag race, folks. Oh, my God. It's a drag race at the finish here. Sierra, Wiggins getting the elbows out. Wiggins just a nose hair ahead. Wow. What a finish. What a finish between the two drivers there. Very, very exciting stuff. Thank you, folks. If you've just joined us, you've missed a cracker. For those of you who have been with us this whole evening, thank you. Sorry about the long pauses of silence. I usually have other people doing this with me. We got the Ferrari doing donuts, though, in the runoff there, celebrating his first win of the season. Unofficially, this is preseason, so congratulations to Sosa, Wiggins, and Sierra on a great race. Bringing out the rest of your order, though. Shade, Mirsky, Portis, Orpis, Carbassi, and Bruce Lee. Those are your top 10. It's a Ferrari 1-2 in Italy, folks. Behind them is Shade, Miguel, Blumauer, Patel, Johnson, Ginks, Shazam, Kvistigard, Trimble, Riders, and Matthews. Folks, thank you so much for joining us today. I am your host, Best Teon. Do check out the links below. I'll go ahead and cue up the outro music here. Give you guys something to listen to on the way out of town here. Thanks again for joining us. I'm your host, Best Teon. Stay classy, folks.